Welcome into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. I'm Alex Napolis. We're here at Lehi High School to bring you the girls soccer game of the week. It is the Lehi Pioneers taking on the Lone Peak Knights. Big Region 3 matchup here in Lehi, Utah this afternoon. It'll be the Lone Peak Knights in the white, shooting to the right of your screen here in the first half. And it is the Lehi Pioneers in the black, shooting to the left. And we are underway as the Lehi Pioneers get us rolling. They are in possession. Lost out quickly as Lone Peak wins it back. Hamuli will play it back. Now in the middle of the park for Hannah Hamuli. Comes out wide to Bailey Zettner. Zettner trying to play it up to Brooke Hendricks. Won quickly by the Pioneers. Ball played up. Nice step there from Ruby Lee to try to win possession back. And a offside called as the flag is raised on the far side. Again, it's the Lone Peak Knights taking on the Lehi Pioneers. Apologies for the frozen scoreboard. We are quickly working on getting that fixed and updated for you guys. 1 minute played so far here at Lehi. All tied up at 0-0. Ball played out wide to Samantha Sellers, the hat-trick hero in that 6A championship game. Ball played in, brought down by Bella Devi. Heavy touch, and it'll go out of bounds and out. Lehi now in possession. Thrown on the far side for the Pioneers. One quickly by the Knights. Here comes Kate Denny. Denny will play it out wide to Sellers. Sellers trying to cut back inside. Nicely won back by Bowden. And Lone Peak back in possession. Here comes Hannah Hamuli. Ball played back to Bailey Zettner. Now in for Denny. Kate Denny looking for support, and she'll play it all the way back to Ada Villarreal. Villarreal plays it out wide. The cross comes in, looking to float one in. Brooke Hendricks is there. But off her line, Kelsey Badger to collect. And Lehi here can relieve some of this pressure. Header there by Thatcher as she was trying to bring it down. Now in the middle of the park for Allison Badger. Badger coming across, trying to win that one back for Lehi. Cut out by Villarreal. Badger trying to contest it there in the middle of the park alongside Simmons. Here come the Knights. It's Denny. Out wide to Sellers. Now crosses it in, takes a deflection off of Schmidt. And cleared out only momentarily as Sellers trying to get back into the box. Nicely cut out there by Tessa Richards as Lehi clear their lines. Bailey Zettner tracking it down. Playing it out wide to Brooke Hendricks. Hendricks gets around Schoenfeld and booted away. Nice defensive effort there from Haunga. As that ball goes out of bounds and out. Here comes a throw in for the Lone Peak Knights. Ball played in quickly. Hendricks trying to track it down. Was Hamuli. Came off of a Lone Peak defender, so that ball will go out of bounds and out. We'll have a throw in coming up here for the Lehi Pioneers. Ball played in. Ruby Lee gets a touch on it. And that ball will go all the way back now to Villarreal. One back in the middle of the park by Lehi. Here comes the Pioneers taking on one, trying to play it through in the direction of Adele Grimley. Ruby Lee covering, and she'll just let that one roll out of bounds and out. We'll have a goal kick coming up here for the visiting Lone Peak Knights. Ball played in as Villarreal plays it up, and it's now Kate Denny. Over on the far sideline, it's Samantha Sellers trying to get around her defender. Quickly won back by the Pioneers. Here comes Lehi as the ball is played up to Badger. Badger trying to get it back up the sideline. Just a little too much as that ball will go out of bounds and out. We'll have a throw-in coming up here for the Lone Peak Knights. Throw it on the far side. It's going to be Smith to throw it in. Smith finds Sellers. Sellers takes a heavy touch. Can't keep that one in bounds. And now here comes a throw-in once more for the Pioneers. Ball on the far side. Headed away there by Hemley. Booted up now by Villarreal. That is Allison Badger trying to bring it down the middle of the park. One back by the Knights. Here comes Bella Devi. Hannah Hemley coming across, makes the interception, and it's Kate Denny. Denny will play it out wide to Smith. Smith playing it back in the middle of the park towards Bella Devi. Devi now with time and space. Devi gets around one. Devi taking it into the box. Crossing it in, Kate Fuller is there and cleared away by Olivia Schoenfeld. And the Pioneers here with a big defensive effort early to deny the Knights. Second big opportunity for Lone Peak here in the first half. 33-23 left to go here in the first. Still tied up at 0-0. Bella Devi will head over to the far side to take the corner for the Knights. Set piece opportunity coming up. Bella will cross it in. Looking back post. The header! Kate Denny with the header! Cleared off the line. Another deflection. Still can't clear. Denny is there with the shot, and it goes out wide. Takes a deflection, and we'll have another corner. Goal line clearance here for the Lehi Pioneers. Another corner kick coming up for Lone Peak. It will be Bella Devi again here on the near side to throw it in. And that ball will go out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Ball booted away here by the Pioneers. And now the ball is coming the other way as Lehigh winning back, or excuse me, Lone Peak winning back. Back in the middle of the park now for Kate Fuller. Fuller will play it back to Ruby Lee. Lee at the middle of the park. Plays it to Hannah Hemley. Hemley trying to play it out wide to Samantha Sellers. Now Hemley wins it back in the middle of the park. Wide to Smith. Smith looking for options. Takes a deflection. One back by Lehigh. Ball poke through looking for Thatcher as Thatcher giving chase. Eliza Collings off her line. And ball booted up and away. It's Ruby Lee in possession for the Knights. Plays it up to Brooke Hendricks. Giving away, ball now with Badger. Badger will play it to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld carries. Olivia Schoenfeld trying to play it up, looking for Grimley. One back quickly by the Knights. That ball will go all the way back now to Eliza Collings. Headed away, and it'll go out of bounds and out. Lone Peak throw in coming up. 30-21 left to go here in the first half. Still tied up at 0-0 between the Lehi Pioneers and the Lone Peak Knights. Ball coming up now to Bella Devi. Devi now taking it inside the 18, cuts inside, gets it on her left, taking a shot, takes a deflection. And ultimately, Kelsey Badger gets her fingertips on it to push it past the post. It'll go out of bounds and out. Corner kick coming up here for the Lone Peak Knights. Bella Devi with a big opportunity. The ball comes whipped in. Back post! Brooke Hendricks is there with the header. Cleared off by Olivia Schoenfeld and booted away by the Pioneers. Brooke Hendricks at the back post trying to find an opportunity to put one into that bottom corner. Great defensive effort again from the Pioneers. Throw-in coming up for Bailey Zettner. Hendricks will now cross it in near the top of the 18. Brought down by Devi. Bella Devi cuts back. Badger there with the defensive interception. Mooley will play it out wide to Smith. Smith will float one in over the top. Headed away. Nicely done there by Allison Badger to get it up to Thatcher. Thatcher trying to settle it back, but Hannah Mooley with the defensive effort to cut that one out. Ball goes out of bounds and out. Lone Peak coming up here with a throw-in over on the far side. Throwing again for the Knights. That ball will come back towards midfield. And with Zettner. Zettner playing it over wide to the near side for Fuller. Kate Fuller with time and space. Kate Fuller taking a shot from distance, and it just sneaks past the post. Not too far off there from the junior midfielder, Kate Fuller, taking a shot from distance. Ball in now for Kate Denny as she tracks this one down. Denny will take a shot from distance, and again, skims past the post. The official on this one is saying that it took a deflection off of a Pioneer defender. We'll have a corner kick coming up here for the Lone Peak Knights. Bella Devi coming over here to the near side to take the corner. Set piece opportunity for the defending 6A champions. The cross comes in, goes back post. Kate Denny was there with the header. Brooke Hendricks now trying to track it down. Hendricks gets a boot on it, finds Fuller. Fuller with a nice little touch. Fuller into the 18. Fuller with the shot. And not too far off there from Kate Fuller as Lone Peak really turning up the heat here on the Pioneers. It has been majority of Lone Peak attacks here in the last 15 minutes or so. And Zettner couldn't find her footing on that one. Ruby Lee has to come across and boot it out. Throw-in coming up for the Pioneers as we are still tied up at 0-0. 26 minutes left to go here in the first. Ruby Lee tracking it down. Villarreal will boot it away. That's going to be Hartman trying to track it down. And now here comes the Pioneers with Simmons. Simmons trying to play it up the sideline, looking for Grimley. Quickly won back by the Knights. That ball's coming to the sideline. Tracking it now is Bella Devi. Cuts back, gets it on her left. The cross comes in, looking towards the top of the 18 where Kate Fuller was there, but it goes through. Kate Denny now tracking it down. Denny losing out possession. Hartman trying to boot it up, looking for Thatcher. Villarreal comes across, gets a boot on it. Hannah Heimele brings it down. Haimuli. Zentner. Zentner will play it to Villarreal. Villarreal playing it up to Denny. Denny now out wide to Smith. Nice little bit of possession here for the Lone Peak Knights. Belladevi up the sideline looking for Samantha Sellers. And that'll just go straight back through and into the hands of Kelsey Badger. Goalkeeper here for the Lehi Pioneers. One back by the Knights in the middle of the park. Here comes Hannah Heimele. Losing out possession. One back by Lehi. Coming the other way. It's Badger. Nicely cut out by Fuller. Fuller will find Hendricks. Hendricks back to Denny. Denny will look to float one into Sellers. Nicely defended by Lehi. Quickly one back. Belladevi. That ball will come back to Smith. Smith will play it into Heimele. Heimele couldn't get a foot on it. Grimley comes across to win it. And quickly went back by the Knights. Heimele will boot it up. Hendricks gets a knee on it. Schoenfeld with a defensive effort. Still Olivia Schoenfeld doing a great job there to win it back. Schoenfeld will play it to Badger. Badger now bring it up the near sideline. Looking for Grimley. Nicely cut out by Zentner. Zentner will play it up to Belladevi. Devi will find Hendricks. Hendricks looking for Sellers. Nicely cut out by Lehi. Fuller wins it back. Fuller now taking it in. Fuller to Sellers. Sellers in the box. Seller gets it on her right, takes the shot, and puts it into the back of the net. Samantha Sellers for the Lone Peak Knights. Gets it into the box, cuts the ball onto her right, and just floats one in to the top back post. And Lone Peak leading it 1-0 with 23:49 left to go here in the first. Amazing job there by Samantha Sellers. And Kate Fuller with the high press to win the ball back just outside the box, setting up that shot for Sellers. And Lone Peak leads it 1-0. How will the Pioneers respond here on their home turf? Substitutions for both sides. Sellers to Hedrick, who just checked in. One back by the Pioneers. Hartman trying to play it up quickly. That ball goes out of bounds. There's a touch from Tessa Carter. Also just checking in for Lone Peak. Sellers will play it into the top of the 18. Hendricks to Carter. Carter with the shot off the post. Still a chance. And into the hands of Kelsey Badger. Great opportunity there for Lone Peak to make it 2 quickly after scoring the opening goal. But it comes crashing off the crossbar. Villarreal with a big defensive effort to boot this one away. Hedrick tracking it down. Finds Sellers. Sellers will play it back to Smith. Smith boots it up. Fuller trying to flick it through. Lehi wins it back. Ball coming across to Ashley Gardner. Lehi here in possession with Haunga. Gardner playing it through. Here comes Grimley. Grimley, Collings off her line, and Eliza Collings coming up with a huge save. Off her line, reads that one well. Sweeper keeper for Lone Peak. Boots this one away. Lehi still trying to build on the attack here. It's Hartman trying to play it up the sideline, but no one is there, and that ball will go out of bounds and out for the goal kick. What a ball played in there behind the defense for Lehi. Thatcher was trying to get on the end of it. Or excuse me, Grimley was trying to get on the end of it. But Eliza Collings doing a phenomenal job coming off her line and sweeping that one away. Fuller with a touch. Hannah Heimele wins possession here for the Knights. Heimele with time and space will play it out wide to Sellers. Sellers trying to cut inside to the box. Sellers taking a shot from distance. Badger with the save and brings it in on the second time. Samantha Sellers looking to make it two. Kelsey Badger had other ideas. Big save here for the Lehi Pioneers. Allison Badger with the touch here in the middle of the park to win possession. Badger trying to play it through. Smith comes across. Ball brought in by Izzy Dahl. Simmons will play this one out wide. Hartman to trying to hook up with Dahl. Now it's Grimley giving chase. Ruby Lee comes across and boots this one away. Throw-in coming up here for Lehi. Throw in on the far side for the Pioneers. Tessa Richards to throw it in. Richards gets the ball into the box. Grimley is there. Booted away by Villarreal. Hedrick gets a header on it, but can't redirect it. That ball goes back out of bounds and out. We'll have another throw-in on the far side for the Pioneers, who trail it 1-0 with 20 minutes left to go here in the first. Again, apologies for the scoreboard. Working on trying to get that fixed for you guys. It is 1-0 Lone Peak lead, thanks to a goal for Samantha Sellers. Again, Tessa Richards over on the far side throws it in, finds Grimley. Grimley gets a touch. It's Izzy Dahl. Izzy Dahl taking it up the far sideline, trying to cross it in. Does, looking back post, into the hands safely of Eliza Collings. Good high press there from Ashley Gardner, trying to win it back quickly for Lehi, but the ball will go out of bounds and out. Throw-in coming up for the for the Knights. And we have a stoppage in play here as some ball boys standing behind the goalie's net, and the official rule states that there cannot be anyone behind the net unless you're with the team. And we'll resume play. Garner gets a header on it, one back by Fuller. Tessa Carter giving chase, one back by Hartman. Hartman takes a deflection off of Badger. Tessa Carter now playing it out wide. Samantha Sellers over on the far side with time and space. Sellers trying to get around Richards. Richards coming across defensively. Does a good job to force Sellers inside. Heimele played out wide to Smith. Smith gets around Izzy Dahl. Now up the sideline to Sellers. Sellers taking it into the 18. Sellers to Carter. Carter with the shots. And Carter with the goal. Lone Peak double the lead prior to the halftime break. 18:26 left to go. And the Knights lead it 2-0. Good performance here for the visiting Lone Peak Knights. Taking on one of the top teams in this region, the surprise team of this region, here at home. And playing incredibly well here through 18 minutes. Schoenfeld will play it up. How will Lehi respond? Ball goes out of bounds, and now we'll have a throw-in coming up for the Pioneers, as Olivia Schoenfeld here on the near side will throw it in. Ball played up now to Heimele. And then ball will come over here to the corner for Lehigh, ball played up now, and one back by the Lone Peak Knights. Out of bounds and out on the far side. We'll have a throwing up coming up for the Lone Peak Knights in possession here with Zentner. Zentner will play it up. Zentner with time and space. Bailey Zentner now into the box. Olivia Schoenfeld comes across defensively, wins it back for the Pioneers. Ruby Lee with the header. Doing a great job there to redirect that ball. Get it out of bounds and out. Throw in coming up now for for Lehigh. Schoenfeld will play it in. Grimley lets it bounce. Zentner covering. Lee with the clearance. Now at the feet of Ivy Harding. Harding will play it to Carter. Carter out wide to Denny. Denny will play it back to Heimely. Heimely over the top, looking back for Kate Denny on the far sideline. Denny giving chase. Denny brings it down. Denny back to Harding. And cleared out quickly by Lehigh. That ball goes out of bounds and out. Throw-in coming up here for the visiting Lone Peak Knights. For Lone Peak, led by head coach Chantel Jolly, the 7th season as the head coach for this Knight team. They are the defending 6A champions last year with a 20-20 win, 1-loss finish on the year. Their last loss coming in August 18th of last year, where they lost to Coronado 1-0 in tournament play. This season, the Lone Peak Knights coming into this one at 9-0 overall, 3-0 in region play, currently sitting at the top of the region, and coming in at number 1 in the initial RPI rankings. Big wins against Skyline, Layton, and the defending 5A champs Maple Mountain earlier this year. In region play, able to knock down Westlake 8-0, Pleasant Grove 6-1, and American Fork 7-1. They've scored 54 goals on the year through 9 games and have only conceded 3. One of the best defensive records in the state, one of the highest scoring offensive records in the state for the 6A champs. Over on the far side, it's Harding. Harding will play it in. Finds Hendricks. Hendricks trying to take a shot now. And that ball will go out of that ball will be cleared out. Grimley giving chase. Grimley gets around Smith. That was Villarreal. Now the ball comes in. Zentner there with the header. Zentner in possession. We'll play it up to Hendricks. Hendricks, nice little skill check there from Brooke Hendricks. As that ball goes out of bounds and out, Olivia Schoenfeld coming up with the nice defensive effort. For the home side, Lehi Pioneers, led by head coach Jonas Hartman. His 2nd year as head coach of this Lehi girls soccer program. Last season finished with a 6-12 record, 4-6 in region play. Beat Bingham 1-0 in the first round of playoffs before being eliminated in the second round. What a turnaround. What a surprise season this Lone Peak Pioneers team is having. After finishing 6-12 last season, they're off to a phenomenal start. 9-1 overall. That shot from distance saved nicely by Kelsey Badger. 9-1 overall, 2-1 in region play. They come in at number 4 in the initial RPI rankings of the year for girls soccer. Get wins against East, Hunter, Corner, Canyon, and West earlier this year in region play. Beat American Fork 3-0. Then lost to Skyridge 2-0 for their first loss of the year. and then beat Pleasant Grove 6-5 in penalties. Have scored 42 goals on the year, this Lehi Pioneers side, and have only conceded 5. Another team with a super strong defensive record, but they trail here at home with 12 minutes left to go in the first half. 2-0 to the Lone Peak Knights. Richards will play it up. Nicely won back by Ivy Harding. As that ball's booted away and out for the throw, and here comes a substitution for the Knights as well. Looks like Paige Hedrick checking back in. Substitution as well here for the home side as Lena Freeman checking in. Off comes Tessa Richards. Throw in by the Pioneers. Grimley bringing it down. Grimley cuts it back, trying to play it back in. That ball goes out of bounds and out. Throw in for the Lehi Pioneers. Quickly won back by the Knights. Here's Fuller, who boots this one away. Giving chase now is Haunga. Haunga plays it up. Badger out wide to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld will play it in now for Badger. Badger with time and space. Trying to float one in over to the far side. Quickly cut out by Smith. Hedrick will play it into Smith. Smith to Carter. Carter with a nice turn. Carter plays it up to Brooke Hendrick. Hendrick trying to get it back on the wing to Carter. And booted away by Lehi. Giving chase is Ruby Lee. And Lee comes across to just boot this one away. Out of bounds and out. Throw in coming up here on the near side for the home side. Schoenfeld to throw it in. Olivia Schoenfeld. Izzy Dahl gets a boot on it. Grimley brings it down. Grimley trying to play it through. Looking for Gardner. Now Hartman tracks it down. Nice interception is Chelsea Hartman. Trying to cut it in. Nicely defended by Ivy Harding. Harding falls to the turf. And Lone Peak win the ball back. Now it's Harding. Harding plays it back in the middle for Fuller. Fuller carries. Fuller with the ball. Will play it up the side. And nicely cut out by Schmidt. Schmidt boots this one up and away. Clearance comes off of Gardner, so it'll be a throw-in for the Pioneers as we have a substitution for the visitors. Checking in is Olivia Snow for Lone Peak. Smith. Back to Smith. Up the sideline is Harding. Harding gets around her defender. Harding now taking it into the 18. Harding with the cross in. And Kelsey Badger all over that one. Into the hands of the goalkeeper. And so we'll have a chance here for Lehi to clear their lines. 8:45 left to go here in the first. Lone Peak leads it 2-0. Samantha Sellers getting the party started here with the opening goal. And now a free kick. This one goes for the home side. Allison Badger standing over the ball to take. Badger looking to float one into the top of the 18. Cleared out by the Knights. Sellers giving chase. Sellers brings it down. Here comes a chance for the Lone Peak Knights to make it 3 before the half. Nicely cut out by Schoenfeld. Olivia Schoenfeld cuts it back inside, and Hendricks is there. Takes a deflection, and it goes out of bounds and out. Goal kick coming up here for the home side. Badger will have a chance here to boot this one away. Prior to substitutions for the home side. Looks like Sierra Clark checking in, as well as Remy McAdams. Badger boots this one up and away. Hedrick plays it to Harding. Harding gets it back to Sellers. Sellers looking to play it up the sideline. Fuller giving chase. Fuller taking it in. Fuller into the box. Fuller cuts it back. Sellers is there. Can't get a boot on it. Cleared out by Lehi. Denny. Nicely booted away by the Pioneers. Denny tracking it down. Doing a good job to win possession back. Ruby Lee. Out wide now to Smith. Smith carries up the sideline. Smith into the box. Smith taking a shot. Saved by Badger. Can't clear the second shot. No good as it goes past the post. Brooke Hendricks, the senior, right at the doorstep on the rebound. Trying to redirect it to the far back post. Can't keep it on frame, and it goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Lehigh dodge a close one there. 2-0 still for the Knights. As time winding down here on the first half. Sellers gets a header on it. Izzy Dahl. And can't get around her defender. Nicely done. Nice coverage by Olivia Snow. Snow throws it in. And Haunga will boot this one away. Throw in for the Lone Peak Knights. Brooke Hendricks will throw this one in. Hendricks looking to play it into the mix. Nice throw in there from Brooke Hendricks, but it goes safely into the hands of Badger. And Lehigh here can clear their lines. Nice cut back inside by Dahl. Dahl trying to play it to Sierra Clark. Clark giving chase, covered by Smith. And Smith doing a great job there to just cover that one out. Throw in now for the visitors. Heavy touch by Sellers as that ball goes out of bounds and out. Throw in now for the home side. Brought down by Lone Peak. One back by Allison Badger. Lehigh still in possession. McAdams comes out wide to Izzy Dahl. Dahl with the touch. Dahl trying to take it into the 18. Ruby Lee comes across with a defensive effort. Lone Peak now coming the other way. Here comes Brooke Hendricks. Nicely done there by Brooke Hendricks. Hendricks plays it in to Fuller. Fuller looking for options. Trying to find Danny. Grimley with a heavy touch. Ruby Lee covers defensively. Lee plays it up. McAdams and Fuller clash. Nothing there as Hannah Heimele winning ball back for Lone Peak. Fuller. Fuller will play it out wide to Harding. Harding trying to take on two defenders. Nicely cleared out by the Pioneers. Here comes Clark. Clark trying to play it up, giving chase for Grimley. Covering there is Villarreal. Villarreal will play it all the way back to Eliza Collings. Collings building possession out of the back here is the Knights with Ruby Lee. Lee will play it up to Denny. Denny out wide now to Harding. Harding trying to take it inside. Nicely defended by Lehigh. Grimley brings it down. Could be a quick counter now for the Pioneers as Izzy Dahl in possession. Dahl to McAdams. McAdams trying to play it back to Grimley. Denny with possession for Lone Peak. Denny to Lee. Ruby Lee carries from her center back position, playing it up to Heimele. Hannah Heimele playing it to Hendricks. Hendricks out quickly to Fuller. Fuller into the box. Fuller against 2. Fuller plays it in. Hendricks brings it down at the top of the 18. Hendricks taking it in. Hendricks with the shot. Saved by Badger. Rebound. Can't clear, and now a foul called. Great attacking play there by the Knights. Hendrick doing a great job to turn it quickly. Gets the shot off, but can't put it in the back of the net as Badger coming up with the save. Now Lehi trying to come on the other end. Takes a deflection off of Ruby Lee, so we'll have a Pioneer throw with very little time left here in the first. See if they can pull one back with the 1:45 remaining. Badger taking a shot from distance, but can't redirect it on frame. This one will go out of bounds and out. And a goal kick coming up for Lone Peak. Substitution as well for the visitors, as it looks like Paige Hedrick checking back in. Eliza Culling will boot this one away. Takes a bounce. Sellers with the header. Trying to flick it through and redirect it back towards Tessa Carter. That ball goes out of bounds and out for the throw. On the far side, Clark with a heavy touch. Cleared out by Villarreal. Throwing for Lehi with less than a minute to go. Quickly played in. Hedrick will play it out. Quickly won back by Lehi. Clark crosses it in. Takes a deflection. Collings off her line, and Eliza Collings is able to gather. 30 seconds left here in the first half. Lone Peak leads it 2-0. Eliza Colling will boot this one away. Headed now by Lehi. McAdams there with the header. Here comes Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld trying to play it up the sideline. Ruby Lee comes across, boots this one up. Schoenfeld again with the header. Hartman trying to win it back in the middle of the park. Quickly won back by the Knights. Here comes Fuller. Fuller nicely cut out there by Olivia Schoenfeld. The buzzer goes off, and that's going to do it here for the first half. Region 3, the battle for the top of Region 3. And through the first 40 minutes, the Lone Peak Knights have the advantage. 2-0 as we head to the break. Don't go anywhere. Second half action when we return. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. I'm Alex Napolis, and thank you for joining us for our girls soccer game of the week here on the Rewind Sports Network. It is the Lehi Pioneers taking on the Lone Peak Knights, two of the top teams of 6A, two of the top teams in the state going head-to-head for a battle at the top of Region 3. And so far, the Lone Peak Knights with the advantage, 2-0 as we start the second half. Hartman brings it down, plays it to Richards. It is the Lone Peak Knights in their whites, shooting to the left of your screen here in the second half, and it is the Lehi Pioneers in the black and purple, shooting to the right. Tessa Carter can't get on the end of that one. Now ball played to Schoenfeld. Simmons. Simmons will play back to Haunga. Haunga will play back out wide to Olivia Schoenfeld. Up the sideline now to Grimley. One back by the Lone Peak Knights. Here comes Hannah Heimely. Heimely plays it to Fuller. Fuller back to Heimely. Heimely now with time and space. Plays it out wide to the near side for Sellers. Sellers cuts to her right. Sellers now taking it towards the middle. Sellers back out to her left. Now way to her right. Taking a shot from distance. And can't keep it on frame. That ball will go out of bounds and out. Goal kick coming up here for the home side. Samantha Sellers, one of the goal scorers in this one, got the first goal to open in the scoring about halfway through the first half. The senior. And now here comes Richards. Richards trying to play it up the sideline. That ball will roll out of bounds and out. Throw-in coming up here for Lone Peak. Smith playing it in. Sellers brings it down. Sellers gets around Richards. And now here comes Samantha Sellers taking it into the box. The cross comes in, lands at Fuller. Fuller over the top to Carter. Carter now to Hendricks. Hendricks with the shot. And Hendricks can't keep it on frame. Oh, that would have been a magnificent goal if Hendricks could have just snuck into the top corner, but unfortunately just gets a little too much under it, goes over the bar and out for the goal kick. Heimele blazing out wide to the near side for Sellers. Sellers now taking on Richards. Sellers into the box. Sellers can cross. Takes a touch off of Schmidt. Great defensive read there from Hallie Schmidt. And we'll go out of bounds and out for the goal kick. .37 minutes left to go here in the second. Lone Peak leads it again 2-0. Lehi, as things stand, in danger of losing just their second match of the season. Still plenty of time in this one to respond again for Lehi, who has been the surprise team so far in this Region 3. Absolutely tremendous season they've been having so far. Great bounce back from where they were a year ago. Still, again, plenty of time here at home to try to pull this one back. Richards. Hartman gets a boot on it. Plays it up. That's Thatcher trying to track it down. Now it's Gardner playing it up. McAdams. McAdams with a heavy touch. And cleared out by the Knights. Throw-in coming up here for the, well, let's say it came off of a Pioneer, so it'll be a throw-in for the visiting Lone Peak Knights. A good match earlier today with the 7 p.m. start time here for the varsity match on the night. Had the JV game prior to. Watching that one. Came down to the wire, all tied up at 1-1 between these two sides as JV teams. And with 10 seconds left on the clock, the Lone Peak JV side able to edge out a win, 2-1. And right now, this Lone Peak varsity side doing the same thing, 2-0 lead. And they have possession. Denny trying to turn. Looking for support. Plays it up now for Hendricks. Hendricks back to Denny. Denny carries. Denny poking it through into the box. As Badger doing a great job off her line to collect. Badger will now boot this one away. Gardner. Nicely done by Heimele to win it back. Fuller. Fuller with a nice turn. Fuller now supporting herself back with Ruby Lee. Lee playing it up to Carter. Carter with one touch to Fuller. Fuller now with time and space. Fuller plays it to Denny. Denny out wide to Zentner. Zentner carries, trying to poke it through and does. Plays it to Fuller. Fuller up the sideline looking for Hendrick. Nicely covered by Olivia Schoenfeld, who has to clear this one out. Throw in on the far side. Takes a deflection off of Brooke Hendrick. And I'll go out of bounds and out for the Lehi throw-in. Floodlights now raining down here at Lehi High School. Ball booted away. Ball will go all the way back to Eliza Collings. Played up. Here comes Ruby Lee. Playing it to Carter. Carter cuts it back in, trying to filter it through. Comes off of Richards and safely into the hands of Kelsey Badger. Denny wins it back in the middle of the park, plays it out to Hendricks. Hendricks back to Denny. Hendricks and Denny, they're not on the same page. Denny running inside. That ball was played outside, and it'll go out of bounds and out for the throw-in. Lehigh in possession. Ball goes out of bounds and out. Lone Peak recover it. Hendricks played it down. Denny. Headed away by Haunga. One back by the Knights in the middle of the park. Here comes Heimele. Heimele will play it out to Sellers, one of the goal scorers tonight, to Carter. Carter trying to poke it through back to Sellers. Taking a shot from distance. Badger with the save. And Badger back on her feet to collect. Testing Kelsey Badger from distance. Has to get down to her right quickly. Makes the save and clears it out. Lone Peak back in possession quickly as Hendricks brings it down. Hendricks trying to turn. Nicely defended there by Olivia Schoenfeld. Still Lone Peak in possession. Hendricks. And that ball will go out of bounds and out. Throw-in coming up now for the visitors. Ball played in. Went back by the Pioneers as the Pioneers booted away. Trying to win it back in the middle of the park there is Chelsea Hartman. Heimele doing a good job to win it back for Lone Peak. Up now, Hendricks trying to turn. Takes a deflection off of Schoenfeld. So we'll have a throw-in for Lone Peak over on the far side as Bailey Setner tracking down the ball to throw it in. Throwing for the visiting Knights over on the far side. Zetner. Denny brings it down. Trying to leave it for Hendricks. Another deflection off of the Lehigh defense. Ball goes out of bounds and out. Throwing for the Pioneers. We'll have a redo as Lone Peak trying to go quickly. Throwing for the Knights. Over on the far side, we'll see how far they decide to play it into the box. Is quite the run up there from Lone Peak, but Fuller tracks it down near the top of the 18, trying to keep possession. Lone Peak losing out on the ball. Here comes the Pioneers with Hartman. Chelsea Hartman trying to filter one through. Off her line once more is Eliza Collings as Thatcher was giving chase. And boots it away. Schmidt clears this out for Lehigh. Heimele. Cut out by Gardner. Ball booted up. And a heavy touch there from Sellers, as that ball will go out of bounds and out. Throw in here for Lehigh. 10 minutes played here in the second half. Lehigh doing a little bit better with possession here in the second half, trying to find some opportunities to get forward, but this Lone Peak midfield has done an excellent job of cutting off the spaces and getting up quickly, just like they did there. Samantha Sellers trying to track it down. It'll go out of bounds and out for the Lehigh throw. Heimele. Sellers with the boot on it. Schmidt clears this one away. Heimele trying to track it down after the deflection. Does. Plays it out to Zetner. Bailey Zetner now for the Lone Peak Knights. Playing it out to Hendricks. Hendricks to Denny. Denny back to Zetner. Lone Peak controlling possession. It's Fuller. Fuller to Denny. Denny now trying to take a step through. Haunga does a good job defensively. Lands at Hendricks. Hendricks now with a chance to cross it in. Another big defensive effort here from Lehigh as Olivia Schoenfeld comes across to deny the cross. And a corner kick. Set piece opportunity coming up here for the visiting Lone Peak Knights as they lead it 2-0. Throw-in coming up, substitution coming up for the visitors. Substitution prior to the corner. It is going to be Paige Hedrick who checks in for Lone Peak. The cross whipped in, looking back post. Nicely flicked on there by Hendrick, the header, and it just goes over the bar. I believe that was Kate Denny with the opportunity for Lone Peak there. That header not too far off, hits the top of the net, and goes out of bounds now for the goal kick. Lehigh now trying to play it out of the back, cleared out. Cut out by Allison Badger. Quickly went back by the Knights. Ruby Lee playing it up. Now Sellers. Cut out by Lehigh. Here comes Lexi Bowden. Cut out by Tessa Carter. Carter playing it out wide to Sellers. Sellers floats one in, looking back post. Hendricks is there. Badger gets enough on it, and Lehigh is able to clear it. Hendricks running in back post dangerously all by herself. Now here comes Brooke Hendricks again into the box. Hendricks trying to get around her defender. Huge defensive play there by Haunga. Now Lehigh trying to play it up. Haunga and Thatcher can't connect. Haunga gets a boot on it. Tessa Carter. One back by Badger. Badger trying to float one over the top to Thatcher. Badger now tracking it down. Does. Lexi Bowden. Bowden playing it to Badger. Badger supporting herself with Chelsea Hartman. Hartman trying to cross it in. Does. Only to find Villarreal, and Villarreal is able to boot it away here for Lone Peak. Clear out the danger. Now here comes Denny trying to come the other way. Denny playing it up. Nicely cut out by Schmidt. Allie Schmidt will play it out wide. Bowden. Back out wide to Hartman. Hartman up the sideline here on the near side. Hartman crosses it in, looking near post. And that ball will just go out of bounds and out for the Lone Peak goal kick. Substitutions coming up for the home side, as it looks like Izzy Dahl checking in. Also checking in for Lehigh, it's going to be Elena Freeman. Goal kick taken short by Lone Peak. Quickly one back. Here comes Izzy Dahl. Dahl for Lehigh into the box. Dahl crosses it in, takes a deflection. Trying to track it down was Grimley. Ultimately takes a deflection off of this Lone Peak defense. And it'll be out of bounds and out. Corner kick and a big set piece opportunity here for the home side to try to pull one back. Hartman on the near side to take. Chelsea Hartman. Everybody line up at the back post. The cross comes in towards the top of the 18. Takes a deflection. Still Lehigh in possession. Here comes Izzy Dahl. Dahl now outside of the box. Dahl crossing it in safely into the hands of Eliza Collings. The cross too close to the junior goalkeeper there. This ball booted up and away. Tracking it down was Samantha Sellers, booted away by Freeman. It'll be a throw-in on the near side for the visitors. Prior to, we'll have substitutions coming on as Ivy Harding checks in for the goal scorer, Samantha Sellers. Throw-in by Smith. Smith playing it quickly to Carter. Carter brings it down. Tessa Carter turning back. Finds Fuller. Fuller playing it back to Smith. Smith to Carter. Carter with the heavy touch. Freeman trying to come across defensively and win it back. Lone Peak retained possession. Here comes Smith. Smith who cuts it back out here to the sideline on the near side. Izzy Dahl giving chase. Nice effort there by Izzy Dahl. Lone Peak keep possession. No, they'll change it. And it'll say Lehi throwing. Quickly won back by the Knights. Ivy Harding to Heimele. Heimele will play it now to Fuller. Lone Peak on the attack. Fuller. Fuller with time and space will carry past one. Tries to carry past two. Nicely cut out by Schmidt. Here comes Hartman. Hartman playing it to Dahl. Dahl trying to take it up the sideline. Takes a deflection. Still in bounds. And booted away by Lone Peak. Gets past two Lehi players. One back by the Knights. Here comes Paige Hedrick. Hendricks coming across and makes the tackle. Commits the foul. And we'll have a free kick coming up here for the home side. 21:40 left to go here in the second half. The Knights lead it 2-0, looking to remain undefeated on the year, undefeated in region play, and have a cushion at the top of the region pending the Skyridge result. Here comes Ivy Harding. Gets around one. Ivy Harding taking a shot, and Ivy Harding from distance puts it into the top corner, and Ivy Harding with an exclamation point for the Knights. Ivy Harding doing a fantastic job, gets around one defender, puts it on her left, takes the shot towards the far post, and tucks it into that top corner. The Knights with a comfortable 3-0 lead away from home. Lehi getting us started again. And here comes Freeman. Freeman can't win the ball. Here comes Ivy Harding. Harding wins it back for Lone Peak. Lone Peak back on the attack. They have numbers. Tessa Carter from distance, as that ball goes over the bar and out for the goal kick. Well, the stadium clock still says 12:10. They have not started it up again. Waiting for that clock to reset here now. The official has taken notice. We'll probably have some adjustments made here. Solid 35 seconds of play there without the clock moving. Try our best here to sync up with what they got. Wow, they took a lot. There was 21:10 on the clock left. We went all the way down to 19:50. Ball back in play. It goes out of bounds and out for the throw-in. It'll be the visitors' Lone Peak back in possession. Played in quickly by Smith. Losing out possession. Now Izzy Dahl bringing up the sideline. Dahl playing it to Grimley. Grimley trying to poke it back to Dahl. And Hannah Heimele wins it back for Lone Peak. Over on the far side now is Sellers. Lehi now trying to get into the attack with Richard. Richard is fouled. And we'll have a free kick coming up here for Lehi. Wind starting to pick up here at the home of the Pioneers. Free kick. Floating it in towards the top of the 18. Lands at Hartman. Takes a deflection into the box. And nicely done on the defensive clearance by the Lone Peak Knights. Substitution here for the home side as Maddie Ogden will check in. That'll be the night for Kelsey Badger the senior goalkeeper. Ogden, the junior, now in between the sticks for Lehi. Ball played in by the Pioneers. Trying to find Hartman. Lands at Freeman. Freeman trying to float one in. Ivy Harding with a nice defensive effort. And now here comes Harding. Trying to get the ball into the attack for Lone Peak. Nicely cut out by Badger. Here comes Hedrick. Hedrick playing it to Fuller. Fuller has an overlapping run. Fuller decides to take it in instead. And cleared out by Lehi. Hedrick now winning it back in the middle of the park for Lone Peak. Villarreal. Harding with a nice one-touch pass over here to the near sideline for Smith. Smith now carries. Dahl there with an interception. Smith winning it back. Lone Peak still in the attack. Playing it into the 18. Coming across defensively is Haunga. And that ball's booted away and out for the throw-in. Substitution for the visitors. Looks like Tessa Carter heading to the bench, as well as Aisley Smith. Checking in will be Bailey Zentner, as well as Denny. Kate Denny back into this one, and Denny gets her first touch since checking back in. Cleared out by Lehi. Hedrick playing it to Fuller. Fuller to Denny. Denny now trying to play it out wide and does to Sellers. Sellers taking it in. Sellers at the top of the 18. Fuller with the heavy touch. And that ball will just go out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Substitution for the home side as Ashley Garner checking in, heading out to the bench. Will be Freeman checking out. One back, Lehi here clearing it out. Richards trying to keep that one in bounds. Just a little too much there as it goes out of bounds and out. Lone Peak coming up here with the throw-in. On the near side, it's Bailey Zentner. Zentner gets it in, looking for Ivy Harding, running up the sideline. Cut out by Schmidt. Richard boots it away. Dahl trying to turn. Dahl gets it up the sideline. Giving chase now is Hartman. Chelsea Hartman doing a good job to win possession back. Hartman gets it through to Grimley. Grimley on the near sideline. Villarreal doing a good job defensively to come across and denying Grimley from turning. Throw-in coming up now for Lehi. It'll be Richards to throw it in. Richards quickly to Badger. Badger now to Hartman. Hartman losing out possession. It's Heimely turning it up for Lone Peak. Harding one of the best of touches. One back by Lehi. Can't connect as Dahl was trying to get it back to Hartman. Throwing out for the Lone Peak Knights. Ball played up. Looking for Izzy Dahl, who can't track it down. Booted away by Lone Peak. Denny winning it back in the middle of the park. Denny played it to Hedrick. Hedrick with a heavy touch. Nicely cut out by Allison Badger. It's Hartman. Hartman, Grimley giving chase. Back now as Badger can't connect with Hartman. Richard trying to turn. Ivy Harding winning it back for Lone Peak. And then Richard's doing a great job to win it back. Badger playing it up to Dahl. Dahl has two runners heading into the box. Dahl trying to take it up the sideline. Dahl with an opportunity to cross. Goes near post. And it goes over the top of the keeper's box there for Eliza Collings. So it'll go out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Goal kick taken quickly. Lone Peak will now boot this one away. Here comes Hartman. Hartman from distance, taking a shot that'll just go safely into the hands of Eliza Collings. 13 minutes left here in the second half. Time running out for Lehigh on their home turf. That ball comes out wide, and it'll go out of bounds and out. Lone Peak will throw it in. 3-0 Knights lead. Substitution now as Bailey Zentner checking out. It'll be Smith checking in for Lone Peak. Smith picks the ball up, and she'll take the throw in here on the near side. Smith will throw it. Denny lets it roll. Harding giving chase. Harding trying to get around Richards. Richards doing a phenomenal job defensively to cover that one and gets it out of bounds and out. Goal kick coming up here for the home side. 12 minutes left. Denny winning it back in the middle of the park here for Lone Peak is Denny. Denny will play it out to Rose. And now that ball booted over the top. It'll go out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Ball booted away by the Pioneers. Heimele trying to win it back in the middle of the park, and does. Heimele doing a phenomenal job to bring that one down. Heimele now playing it out wide. Cut out by Lehigh. Here come the Pioneers. Gardner giving chase. Schoenfield now winning it back. Ball comes out wide to Hartman. Hartman with time and space. Chelsea Hartman playing it in now for Izzy Dull. Takes a heavy touch. Can't bring that one in. And then it'll go safely into the hands of Eliza Collings. It's now Dahl. Dahl still on the ball, trying to get around her defender Smith. Dahl against Smith. Dahl will cross it in, and Smith doing a fantastic job there on the deflection. Ball goes out of bounds and out. Throw-in coming up here for the Pioneers. Again, not much time left for the home side as they trail it 3-0. Played in quickly to Dahl. Dahl back to Richards. Richards crosses it in near post. Grimley's there. Grimley taking a shot. Can't redirect it on frame. Goes across the face of goal, and Lone Peak able to clear this one away. Lone Peak doing a good job there to win it back quickly. Denny lets this one roll. Giving chase now with Schmidt. Plays it out to Richards. Richard gets it to Badger. Badger trying to get it back out wide to Hartman. Losing out possession. Here comes Lone Peak. Lone Peak playing it through to Heimele, or with Heimele. And that ball booted away by Lehigh. Lone Peak back in possession. Here comes Sellers. Sellers trying to play it through to Harding. Nicely cut out by Lehigh. And now here's Smith. Fuller. To Ruby Lee. Ruby Lee trying to play it over the top. Can't connect. I believe that was Samantha Sellers out there on the far side. It'll go out of bounds and out. Lehigh to throw it in. Prior to substitutions for the visitors, as well as the home side. It looks like for Lehigh, number 5, Emery Thatcher checking back in. Checking out will be Adele Grimley. For Lone Peak, Brooke Hendrick checking back in. She gets her first touch there. Also checking into the match is Macy Levitt with her first touches there. Heimele. Heimele gets it out wide to Snow. Snow also checking in. Hendrick now up the sideline. Hendrick trying to get that one through, but it does take a deflection. So it'll go out of bounds and out. We'll have a corner kick coming up here for the visiting Lone Peak Knights. Under 10 now left to go here in the second. 7:45 left to go. Throwing on the far side for Lone Peak. Everybody but one lined up at the back post. The cross comes in. Played towards the top of the 18. Danny's there with the header. Can't redirect it on frame. It goes over and out for the goal kick. Maddie Ogden. Goalkeeper checking in for Lehi here in the second half. We'll boot this one away. Hartman gets a header on it. Heimele wins it back in the middle of the park. Snow trying to track that one down. Does. Pokes it through to Hendrick. Hendrick trying to get it back to Snow. Nicely cut out by Lehi. Simmons will play it to Schmidt. Schmidt now trying to get it out wide. Does. Finds Dahl. Izzy Dahl. Hartman trying to poke one through to Thatcher. Takes it a bounce over Villarreal. Ruby Lee coming across. And Ruby Lee with a huge defensive effort. She doesn't cut that one out. Emery Thatcher is in. Sellers for Lone Peak. Back to Heimele. Takes a touch. It'll go to Villarreal, and Villarreal will go all the way back to Collings. Nice play there from Lone Peak. Here comes Denny up the sideline. Denny now into the box. Denny crosses it in. Goes near post. Haunga is there. And nicely done by Haunga to make sure that cross doesn't get to its intended target. Corner kick coming up here for Lone Peak. Substitution as well for the visitors. Looks like Bailey Zentner checking back in. Over here on the near side, it'll be Smith to take. Villarreal, the late runner into the box, goes near post. The cross comes in, floated towards the back. Danny's there, takes the deflection, can't clear. Hendricks with the shot. But Brooke Hendrick can't keep that one on frame. Not too far off there from Lone Peak as they look for their fourth. Lehi will have an opportunity here to clear their lines. Sellers brings this one down. Plays it to Heimele. Heimele will play it out wide to Fuller. Nicely cut out. Lehi with possession. Thatcher tracking it down. Nicely done, Emery Thatcher. Here comes Dahl playing it back to Thatcher. Thatcher now trying to cross it in. Ada Villarreal there to clear it defensively. Lone Peak clearing their lines momentarily as Lehi will have a throw-in here on the near side. Richards to throw it in. Looking back for Thatcher. Tries to poke it through and cleared out by the Lone Peak Knights. Throwing now for Lehi. Richards will throw here on the near side. Brought down by Dahl. Dahl with a nice turn. Gets past two. Dahl tries to float one in. Running off of it was Gardner. But off her line to collect, well, Eliza Collings. Looking to keep her clean sheet in this one. Secure. Clean sheet number 7 on the year for Eliza Collings. Denny. Out wide, one back by Lehi. and then cut out by Kate Denny. Haunga to Schmidt. Schmidt with time and space. Brings it up, boots this one up, and going nowhere as Lone Peak all over that one defensively. Denny comes across, commits the foul on Schmidt. Lehigh with the free kick. It'll be Hallie Schmidt to boot this one away for the Pioneers. Fairly clean game tonight. Not too many fouls called for either sides in this one. Schmidt again with possession for Lehigh. Tries to boot one in. Floats one towards the far sideline. Garner brings it down. Garner into the box. Garner with the shot. And Eliza Collings with a nice save at her near post. Ashley Gardner doing a fantastic job to take that ball away from her defender. Gets into the box. Collings with a nice save. Here comes Schmidt across defensively to clear this one out. Throw-in coming up for the Knights. But prior to a substitution for Lone Peak is Tessa Carter checking back in. Checking out will be Kate Denny. Badger can't clear that one. Cleared out by Schmidt. Fuller with a nice touch there to get it over the Lehigh defense. Hendricks tracking it down. Olivia Schoenfield coming across. Boots that one away. Last came off of Hendrick. So that ball goes out of bounds and out. Throwing here for the home side. With a minute to go. Ball goes out of bounds once more. And a throw-in coming up for Lehigh. McAdams gets a header on it. One back by Fuller. Fuller now taking it up. Fuller goes to ground. And we play on with 30 seconds left. Ball booted up. Finds Chelsea Hartman. Hartman trying to get it up to Thatcher. As that ball will go out of bounds and out. Another throw-in coming up here for the home side. Not too much time left. Taken in. Hartman trying to poke it through. Smith with the clearance. Richard brings it down. Hartman trying to get around Smith. Hartman cuts back on her left. Hartman gets it back out. The buzzer goes, and that will do it. A hard-fought, contested battle here in Region 3, but it'll go down as a win for the Lone Peak Knights. They will improve to 10-0 on the year, remain undefeated, and now have a little bit of a cushion at the top of Region 3. For the home side, Lehigh, they will fall to 9-2. But no reason to be discouraged. They have been fantastic all year long. Still plenty of soccer left this season. Just need to hold their heads high, move on to the next, and make sure that they finish out region with a nice handful of wins to keep the pressure on this Lone Peak side. For now, though, Lone Peak with a little bit of a security blanket at the top of Region 3. 3-0 the final score here from Lehi High School as the Lone Peak Knights take down the Lehi Pioneers in our Rewind Girls Soccer Game of the Week. And that's going to do it for us here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. I'm Alex Napolis. Big shout out to our guy Austin on the camera. And until next time, everyone have a good night and be safe.